God, get ready for an extraordinary episode. Our guest today is gonna leave you at the edge of your seat. Seeking for the success and powers of life, ended up in an unexpected place, including the occult. He faced incredibly twists and turns in life. But in all of that, surprisingly, God had transformative destiny. Today, we are going to hear a testimony that will transform our lives. A testimony that is filled with grace, the power of God, favor of God, and above it all, a message filled with God's wisdom. Thank you again for sitting locked in your seat once again to watch Cheers to God with all of us. Share, connect with your friends, subscribe, and let everyone know that God is about to do amazing things in your life. Once again, I'm Nana Morrison, and I am forever going to be your host. Again, I am going to thank my spiritual parent, Bishop Frank Ofosu-Opia, Pastor Mary Ofosu-Opia, Reverend Obiri Ajekum, and Lady Gifty Obiri Ajekum. I want to say God bless you for your prayers. My management, Miss Nita of Star Effect, I love you dearly. Thank you. And our guest for today is Pastor Gabe. Pastor Gabe, good evening for being on Cheers to God.
Good evening. God bless you.
Thank you.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be in this studio. And thank God for what God is using you to do.
Amen.
Especially in this cyberspace where we need a lot of the voices of God to be heard.
Yes.
And this is one of those channels that God will use to touch lives.
Amen.
So thank you for accepting the call. Because sometimes people don't understand that the media ministry is the last mountain. And if we don't do well on this, Jesus is not coming. Went and told that pastor, the one I was running away from, he looked at me and laughed. He said, your foundation has not released you. So you have to deal with your foundation. I said, what does that mean? He said, you have to go to your father's place and pray. So this time, I gathered some ministers. He went with me, not with my pastor. My pastor don't talk deliverance, but he has the right word. He can counsel you, make you feel good, but he never tell me, deal with spiritual things with me. Even though I've gone to Zoe ministry, then they were very big. We would pray like Power Arena, but I don't have a personal mentor. They come, they throw you in, and everybody will be firing. I go to
You didn't have somebody to really guide
me, but this Pastor Eze was there. So I was running through many ministries at the same time because I wanted to get out of this thing and know if I can get to where my pastor wanted me to get back. But this guy said, we're going to a village. So I organized some men of God who went to my village, prayed. They said, no, this is not your father. I said, this is my father's house. They said, where did your family migrate from? That's your grandfather's house. I said, oh, that house behind. He said, let's go there. That's where we have to be. So when the house was locked in, we jumped the fence, came in, I opened the door. So the people there, what do I call them, my uncles or whatever, came out and they were surprised. I came with a lot of people to pray there. So, but they couldn't stop us. So we began to pray. The man was asking, where did they bury your grandfather? I don't know. My father have never told me about his father or where he was buried. My uncle that was sitting there, we asked him, he said he doesn't know. When he came back, his father has been buried and all that. That man said, we have to see his grave. We must pray in his grave so that we can release you from there. So they prayed. Like for another 2-3 hours, the pastor said we should wait. Where we were standing at the entrance of the house was the grave. Buried. We have been standing there for maybe 3 hours. Wow. We go everywhere, we come back there. He asked my uncle, who was buried here? My uncle said he doesn't remember. I said, no, the person that is buried here is a strong man. So who is the person that is buried here? And my uncle now said, when he came back, his father has been buried. That as he walked through that door, his father was buried to the right. And that was why we are standing all this time asking you questions. You couldn't even tell us anything. So the man said, okay, now we get the answer. We prayed, and after we finished praying there, he anointed the compound. We went back to my father's house. We slept that night. The next day, we went back to Lagos. So that night, I had a visitation. In my house in Lagos, I saw myself sitting in front of my father's compound. And now sitting in the couch like this, and a lot of ancient people with marks, people with those, they don't have clothes, they have animal skins in them. Some of them have wood, carrying wood, children, old men pushing bicycles. They were coming, and everyone that was coming was giving me something. Everyone that was coming was giving me something. Everyone that was coming was giving me something until the last person came. Because at the time I was tired. So when is this line going to finish? And the last person came by and I woke up. It was a dream. That dream terrified me. I was saying, well, I just came back from the village. I was trying to picture, even though I knew I was sitting in my father's house, but the house that was behind me was not our house. But in the dream, I knew it was my father's compound. So I went to that pastor immediately.
The one that took you to the village?
Yes, and told him the dream, and he laughed. He said, now, you can go anywhere.
That's the release.
He said, your ancestors, you have disturbed them. They say, go. They're letting you go. But you have not broken out of them. He said, you have to do this again and again and again and again. They couldn't hold you anymore. That's why they're letting you go.
So now you have found the reason, like you have been in looking for one thing, in looking for success. You were looking for a way for your business to make sense, for a way to make money. And now you've been taken so deep into family roots where things are now broken and there's now freedom.
Yes.
What was the next chapter? What happened next?
So now when I knew now that I can travel, so I have to prepare myself. It's not easy to just run out, being the first son, and I have family, I have responsibility. My younger ones, I still have some businesses as I do. So I need to get myself in that. So I went on this long prayer. I went to a prayer mountain. That pastor is dead now. The place is called Soteria Bible Ministry. They had a prayers like ground where people can just come and stay there and pray. So that pastor gave me prayers. So I didn't want to do it in Lagos. I went to...
So now the call of God, the name God, Jesus, everything started making sense.
Yes. So I went now and then. And remember, I told my pastor didn't want me to travel, or they wanted to keep me. So when I was trying to travel, I told him, he didn't support it. Even when I got visa, he told me it's not God that we're going to pray and all that. So everybody's telling me that's not God's time and all that. So it was a lot of confusion.
I mean, he was the one that wanted you to do business.
Yes.
Okay.
So he wanted me to even stay because now I have to travel. So he didn't want me to go. I was paying him. I was not being paid because the founder of the church, after I brought a lot of suggestions, she handed the church over to me. Everybody that was on payroll, I signed the church checks. I did everything, but I was not being paid. So they wanted me to run that organization for them, but that's not what I wanted. So when I went to the village, went to this place to pray, it's supposed to be 5 days dry fasting. I think on the third day, I got sick. I was so sick that if you come close to me, you can feel the heat coming from me.
Oh, wow.
I thought I would die, but I didn't know what to do. And I don't have any, nobody knew. I told my mother that I'm going to pray here, but that's it. Nobody knew. A lot of people that were there have families, came with support. I came alone. And I was staying in a wood. You have to rent a room. I did not rent a room. Not that I didn't have the money. I just want to be in that prayer. I want to be real in that prayer. So I was sleeping outside on a wood. So that third night, I was so sick. I was begging God that he should not take my life, that I will serve him. So all my prayers, I was praying before for God to release me to go abroad and do all that.
It
now,
changed.
on the third day, my prayer changed. That
Kill me and let me serve you.
Yeah, let me serve you. Don't take my life because I thought I would die. And there's nobody to talk to. The prayer warriors that were there, when you come, you have to register and do all this, which I didn't do. I just paid to pray into the hall. I went in there. I didn't go through their protocol, so there's no way to get help from them. I already knew that I did not go through them, so I will not get that help. Normally people come, they have people coming to pray around them. I just go to their prayer meetings. So I was begging God. I managed the fourth day, the fifth day. So by the evening time, so what I would do every day, I'll buy pure water. I just pour it on my head. I just keep pouring water in my head. And if I pour that water in my head, I feel good for a while, then my temperature will increase again. After I finish that prayer, when I supposed to break the fast, I couldn't eat. So I have to go to my village. My mom was there already. I told my mom that I'm sick. My mom took me to the hospital. They checked my temperature was so high. They said that they have to put drip on me.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing they did. So they put that drip on me. It was in that dream that God showed me South Africa.
So God showed you South Africa?
Yeah, told me that. I didn't know it's South Africa, but I have South African visa. Showed me the place I'm going and told me that that place is just going to be like the wilderness for me.
Wait. You had a vision.
Yes.
You have a South Africa visa.
Mm-hmm.
And God is telling you that
where I'm going,
it's going to be like a wilderness. It's going to be, so that means it's going to be very hard.
It's going to be like I've never seen anything.
Why
like,
did you still go?
Because now I already knew my call. I begged him that I should not die. I thought God could have taken my life on the third day. Mm-hmm. Because all this time I was praying about myself, business, money, all that. Even though I talk ministry, but I didn't put ministry in the forefront. So my prayer changed on the third day. Then when God showed me where I'm going, showed me like me doing evangelism on the streets, and those are the things that happen. I already started that in Lagos because our church do a lot of things on the road. We have choir that will go around. But I took all that we did, I took it to South Africa. But now I saw myself doing that on the street of the city. It was a city. I don't know the name of the place.
So it was part of your calling to go to South Africa?
Yes. Okay. But I didn't know. South Africa was not even in my first 10.
Okay.
It was just what was available because I needed to leave. Okay. I didn't want to stay there anymore. So I saw that and how the suffering will, that after everything, God will take me to another country, which I didn't see what country was that in the dream. So that night, when I woke up in the morning, the drip, everything was finished. So they were trying to keep me for 2 or 3 days. I told them I'm coming. I went down and I gave money to my sister. Told her that when they check the bills, she should pay for the bill. I left for Lagos. By the time my mother brought food for me, I was already gone. It's like I just ran away from the hospital.
So you went to South Africa?
I know I went to Lagos.
Okay.
So went to Lagos, went to my mentor again because this guy is always available for me. Told him all my experiences and he prayed for me and he really prayed. But before then, when I have not received God, I had a dream. I saw myself in downtown Manhattan. Then I was still in my normal life. Like I was not anywhere near church or God. So it was raining that night, heavy rain. I saw myself sitting in a park in my house. I was sleeping there. So I saw myself sitting in the park. And that park has a lot of people walking around there. There's a lot of tall skyscrapers. I saw a lady tie something in her hand, running around, a very big black lady. But she was very, very strong, energetic. She was running the same tempo. She would go behind me and go all the way far and come back and go behind me. Then I saw this white boy and the black child. They were doing skating. They were skating and, I saw people wearing suits, people walking around, talking, smoking, just hanging around in the park. And I now saw a squirrel came and jumped towards my leg. So I was trying to dodge the squirrel. I woke up.
Okay.
So when I woke up, I said, wow, this dream is interesting. Where is this? There's somewhere in Lagos that is called Tinubu Square. It looks like that.
And it wasn't there.
But that it wasn't there. Tinubu Square is in the middle of the city. It's so jump. People are selling food, selling things everywhere. It's so noisy. But it has that feel. And the skyscrapers. I said, this is not it. So when I went to South Africa, there's where they call Gandhi Square in Johannesburg. Carlton Center is a big mall that lead to that Gandhi Square. And it looks like that. I sat there. I tried to picture that dream. I said, no, it's not this place.
So now you're in South Africa. And in your vision, it's saying that you're going to go through a lot. It's going to be tough. Just a few little words. What are some of the things that you went through in South Africa?
Oh, I went through homeless. I became homeless. My friends that I was with kicked me out because I was carrying Bible. They wanted me to do what they were doing,
the
drugs
things
and
that
all
you
that.
were in before?
Yeah, I cannot be part of it. And when I was coming, they were so happy that they knew that when I come, their business will explode. And I don't know why that has been in my life. Everybody that was my friend knew that if they have me as a friend, things will start to work for them.
And it did work for them. I mean, they saw it.
So the guy told me that, now that I'm coming, that they are going to become millionaires. So I said, why? I said, I'm just coming. Say, don't worry, you come. So they didn't know I'm in God. So when I came, they were trying to introduce me to many things. I told him, look, I'm not going to do all these things. And he didn't like it. So he said, I'm going to pay rent. I said, okay, I have money. I will have some money. I was paying him rent. Then when I didn't have money, I told him, just give me some time. I'm going to get money. I'm going to pay you. So the guy couldn't wait. He kicked me out. So he told another guy that, don't worry. when we kick him out, when he suffer, he's going to come back and do, because that there's something about me that anything I touch kind of works out. Kick me, I didn't know that I've given up the wall. I didn't care about that. I went and lived in this garage on Bree Street in Johannesburg. It's owned by one Nigerian guy. It's a furniture shop, so when they close in the night, we just sleep there.
Because from what you're telling me now about your friends, and having the same friends that almost took you to the occult, they not almost took you to occult that's what they believed in.
Yes.
And you realize that these people, because of where they go, they're very, very alert in spiritual world.
Yes.
And when they see a man of God who is not alert, who doesn't know what they carry, and living a life of carelessness, spiritually throwing every goodies that God has given them to change their lives, they are just drinking and wasting all these precious gifts that God gives in the spirit. When these people come close to such a person who carries this grace, because they are involved in these occultic things, spiritually, there's a way they steal from them. And as you're talking, it comes to me as they were taken from you when you didn't know God spiritually and building wealth for themselves. But now that you've found God and you're not a slave anymore, but you're a man so done in the things of God, you're kin, clothed in gold and diamond in the spirit. Now they can't steal from you again.
Yes.
So their goal was to frustrate you. Yeah,
they really tried to frustrate me. But it didn't work because I had a ministry I was serving there in South Africa, and I had opportunity to live in that ministry. But I came in there as somebody that was doing well. I don't want to come back and tell the pastor I'm homeless. Even those people will come and tell me that they lost their accommodation, can they sleep in church? The church have some rooms and all that. They were boys' side, girls' side, then this church hall. I will go mediate on behalf of them for the pastor. While I'm doing that, I was homeless. The pastor did not know.
Wow.
I didn't know why he didn't pick it up. So I was involved in like the street evangelism. We started it in that church. When I told him about we are going to start, he said, no, we don't do that here. This is not Nigeria. They will not let us do it.
At the Nana Morrison Foundation, we support children and widows, providing long-term solutions to help lift them out of poverty. We believe the Word of God cannot be shared on an empty stomach. So please, donate to support, and let's end starvation and hunger. We accept and encourage donations from anyone. But our best partners are you, the local churches and faith-based community. Your support, big or small, can make a huge impact on other people's lives. Please, donate.
No, you don't do that here. This is not Nigeria. They will not let you. I say, look, that's what God said I should do, because he was asking me to anything I can do in the ministry. I say, I want to start in evangelism. I say, I can sing. I'm very good with singing, choir, all that. Even organization, youth fellowship, which we started also. But I want to be involved in evangelism first. So he said it's not possible. I went to Johannesburg police station, told them I'm coming from this ministry, and told them this is what we want to do. I told them the times we are going to do it. They gave me a form, told me that the church should fill the form and sign it. So when I brought it to the pastor don't want to have anything to do with that. He was so scared. How do I want to bring police involved in? I said, look, and he is a South African citizen by then. I don't even have my papers. I'm telling you. But the kind of courage I had, so when he didn't want to do it, I went and signed the papers. I took it there. The police, they were very happy they took it. The day of that first time we went out, 2 police vehicles came. So people were coming. A lot of people are doing crime. They see police vehicle parked in front of church. They don't want to come and identify with us. So the very few people we started with, as we started to go and we're singing and making noise, we started to build crowd. And that's how we expanded that ministry.
So ministry in South Africa was doing well.
Yes.
But your life was in shambles.
Yes, because I don't have any part of the ministry. But in the ministry, they see me as, if you meet him, things will work out
But
for
you
you.
knew that things were going to be tough. So it wasn't like...
No, I knew. That's why I didn't
you were
back
not
down.
even- yeah, you didn't
Do you know
back
that there was a December, I think December 2002 or 2003. I can't remember. 25th December. I didn't have food to eat on Christmas Day. And I never ate the whole day.
So now in South Africa... Now, so before South Africa, you're seeing a dream. And this dream looks like South Africa. But now you come to South Africa and it's not South Africa. So then you knew that there was a place you had to be. There was a different place and it wasn't South Africa.
I knew, but I didn't know how will that happen. Now that I can't even take care of myself, I have siblings calling me from back home. Responsibilities keep piling up because now you have traveled abroad and somebody that used to be there for everybody. Now, do you know there was a time I didn't have a phone for 3 months? I didn't have a cell phone. I gave the last phone I had. A man of God was preaching in our church, and he said that you have to give your Isaac. And that phone was my Isaac. So I gave that phone away. I didn't have phone. So when I came back to where we were living in that garage, people started laughing at me that I'm a fool, that they have used something to wash my brain. How can you say without phone, you can't survive in this country? Because you can be just next door and somebody that want to connect with you is next door. They can't connect with you because there's no way to look for you.
So now you're a pastor in South Africa, doing the Lord's work. At that time, did you know the mandates that was on your life as a pastor?
I knew because a lot of people gathered around me. But the only thing I couldn't monetize my position. And I think if I have done that, it couldn't have worked because the will of God will stand. The Bible said there are many counsel in the heart of the man, but the will of God will stand. The will of God is that you have to go through this wilderness and God will refine you through that.
So how did you get out of the wilderness?
We went to an event which my friend took me to in South Africa. It was organized by the government. So he had a friend that knows somebody and we went to that event. Sitting at the table, I was wearing one of my father's clothes. My father was passed then, I think around 2003 or 4. So I was wearing one of my father's chieftaincy clothes, old clothes, but it was so colorful. So this lady came to me and touched the clothes, said, wow, nice clothes, she liked it. And we talked, she said I should give her my number. So I don't have a number. So I told my friend, I said, give her my number. So he gave her his number. So she thought this guy was my PA, that I'm some kind of big person. And this guy, I needed him. He has the car. He's the one that feed me sometime. So we finished everything. I forgot about this lady, left. The lady called him. Say, can I speak to Gabe? He said, oh, you are calling my phone. He told him his name. He said, no, I want you to give the phone to your boss. So the guy was mad, but he has to play along. He said, okay, he's not here now, this, that. So he came and warned me, said, this lady is calling, has been calling back and forth. I'm going to stay with you until she calls. So she calls, and I spoke to her. She said, yeah, I want to see you. Can you come this? I told her, look, I don't have a phone. So she said, it's a lie. I said, this phone is not my phone, it's my friend's phone. He said, if you don't have a phone, come to, Michelangelo Hotel. It's like a mall in Santin City. So that there's a phone shop there that you give me a phone if I really mean that I don't have a phone. So I say, thank God. So I jumped the bus, I went there. I will put money on the pay phone, I'll call her. She pick up the phone, she say, I'm here. I couldn't remember her face. You know, somebody you meet once.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of white people walking around. I don't know who she was. So she would tell me where she was. I will come there, look around. I don't know who she was. I'll go back and I'll call because I don't have a phone. So she told me, go into the phone shop, just stay there. So I went into the phone shop. I was already sweating because I've been going back and forth. She came in, how are you? She hugged me and she told me to pick up a phone. So I asked the guy that sells phone, I say, what is your biggest phone here? There's this Samsung where you press it, it comes out.
That's what you wanted.
Yeah. That phone was about $3,000 then. It was very expensive. So I said, what's your biggest phone? The guy brought that phone and she said, you like it? I said, yes. I don't have $1. Now I want to have a phone almost $3,000. And she took her card up and swiped her card and paid for it. And I took my SIM card, I put it, so she called me. He said, now we are connected. I'm going to call you. She left. I didn't even have the transport to go back because I've been making calls on the pay call, and my money was finished. But how I got back was miracle. But I went back. That's through her now. We began to talk. Other things started to open. I knew that anytime God wants to bless me, he bless me big. God does not give me remains or crumbs. He gives me the best. In fact, somebody took me out one time to the mall, spent on Woolworth, that's the name of the shop, spent almost then about $2,000 to buy me clothes.
So I want us to move out of the wilderness to the land flowing with milk and honey. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what happened is one of my friends told me about the conference coming up in America, the ministers' conference, and they applied. So they told me about it. I was reluctant. I say, America will not give me their visa. Let me just don't waste my time, because they will ask you to bring your dead father, grandmother, all that. But finally, I applied. We all applied. And the day of our interview, so we went in batches. The first group went and nobody got it. Second group went, nobody got it. So I now say, no, these guys that have everything, have big churches and all that, we are just going to go fulfill that we have applied and we'll come back. And lo and behold, I was the only one that was given visa.
Wow.
So it was kind of a miracle, because the lady didn't ask me much. She looked at me and it was conversational. She asked me where I was going. I told her. She said, yeah, you know that it was this weekend I came to America.
That's Memorial weekend.
Yes. So she said, yeah, the weather is getting better. You can go to Florida. You will love it. I said, yeah, Florida, I will go there. So everything was done. She said, I'll get it on the mail the next day, which they did. DHL, I paid for it. Got the visa. Prepared to just come, do shopping, look at America, and go back to South Africa, because by this time, things are beginning to get better in South Africa. I've built up a name over the years. So I didn't see America as where I'm going to stay. But when I came here, in fact, from the flight, there was a child that was giving problem in first class, and they moved the parents back to the economy class, and it was my seat, because the person that was with me before has changed seats, so I was by myself. So the lady came with her 2 kids, and they moved me to first class on that Emirates flight. And when we moved from Gatwick from Dubai to Gatwick, or from Gatwick to Dubai, something like that, then we started coming here. That was when the flight changed, going to New York. I now knew that there's something about me coming to America. I was sitting in first class, and I paid for economy. And the air hostess were very, very polite. We arrived in New York, went through the security. Everything was so fast. I came out, called the cab, went to the guy that would receive me. He was already waiting for me because our flight was delayed. So he picked me up. I was attending that conference that day. So by the time the conference finished, I was in the Holiday Inn that was in Queens there. And that same place, that's where we're having the conference. So the conference finished, had some programs with some Jamaican pastors on Jamaican Avenue in Queens. Then I was preparing to come back. I was doing shopping already. I've told everybody I'm going to come back. This is time. Let me just spend like 2 weeks in America. My friend that I met in New York took me to work. He was working in downtown Manhattan. So I was trying to see New York, went to the train, arrived there. He told me that I should wait for him here, or I can go anywhere I want to go, but I should come back to that park and stay, that when he comes out, we can go. Or if I want to go home, he told me where to jump the train, because I have the unlimited card. I sat in that park, and everything began to make sense.
From the vision you saw?
Yeah, the vision I saw in 1997.
Exactly the same place?
The same spot I was sitting down.
So now you're in your land flowing with milk and honey. My question is, you stayed in America, because it's obvious you're here.
Yeah.
You're a pastor. You've been a pastor for a long time. And so you have now understood what God had for you. Mm-hmm. What was it that God had for you?
Yeah, what God had for me, God delivered me to be a deliverer. That's why I tell people most times you are paying. People ask me, what is your calling? Or how do I know my calling? It's your burden. Your calling.
What?
You are burden.
The
thing that bothers you is what you are called to correct.
Mm.
So many times you see something, You come into a place, this place is disorganized. Why is this place like this every time? And everybody's not seeing you. They say, just leave it there, it's okay. And you say, no, it's not right. You are called to correct that. Can be anything. So God delivered me from different things, and even from my foundation, because no priest was in my family until I answered the call. Now my brothers, my sisters got married to pastors, so we now became a family of priests.
You said God delivered you to be a deliverer. Who is a deliverer?
A deliverer is a man of God that I have the fivefold ministry in me, but deliverance is one of my core ministry. So I don't want to just put myself in a niche, because I preach the word very well. I am a seer. I have the word of prophecy, word of knowledge, discernment of spirit, even though I don't call myself a prophet. But when it comes to deliverance, it happens easily for me. When somebody is going through, it doesn't matter whatever it is, emotional traumas, people that have gone through any kind of pain, financially they have lost money or whatever they want to give up in life, or being chased by demons. Because there's something that Jesus said, and deliverance comes with knowledge. That's why God gave me all this level of knowledge. Jesus said something in John chapter 8, from verse 30 to 32. He preached the gospel and many believed in him, and he said to the Jews that believe on him, if you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed. Then and you shall know the truth, knowledge, and the truth shall make you free. You must know. The Bible said in Hosea 4:6, upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. And there shall be what? No, that's Obadiah 1:17. And there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess. Possession is the last thing in the ministry.
So look at from your path, what we're learning now is, even before anything could work for you, you had to go all the way back to where your grandfather was buried.
Yes.
And it was there where a lot of chains was broken, that you could even do mighty things in God. So now, if a person is going through anything, if a person is facing anything, as in now, could it be something that had happened like 2000, probably in their late grandmother's time, something they need to go back and fix?
Yeah, sometimes they don't have to go back, because the level of knowledge, there's a guy I was praying with here, his car kept breaking down. One day his engine fell off his car. So when we prayed, I saw that his problem was from his foundation. He didn't have money to travel all the way to Africa. But we went to his village from here.
How?
I can be praying with somebody now, and I'll tell you what is in your father's house and where those things are, and I'll tell you where the problem is. I'll say, we are standing right there now, but we are here. And we pray from here, whatever is there will destroy, because the earth is the same earth. The land is the same land.
How is deliverance important?
It's very important, because that's the first thing in ministry. You cannot move forward, it doesn't matter who you are, until you are delivered. When Jacob got his deliverance was Genesis 32, when he met God the second time. What is your name? Say Jacob. See, because you have fought with man and fought with God and you have prevailed, you shall be called Israel. And there was a battle that night, and they broke his tie. That was where he got deliverance.